Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how to make the 1-inch border and the dragon, kind of like a flying dragon. If you want, you could put somebody riding on the dragon. And then we'll demonstrate like some kind of mythical creature, because you don't have to do a dragon, you could do any mythical creature that you want. But it should be emphasized, taking up the whole page. You should have like a 1-inch border. So to get a 1-inch border, you're going to have your ruler, which is 1 inches, and on the end of it, that's like where the 0 is. And the 1-inch mark is the long line after the 1 on your ruler. So we're going to hold the ruler on the 0 mark. Actually, I should have shown you this way. 0, and hold it to the edge of the paper. So the 0, which doesn't really have a 0 on there, but it's the end of the ruler, should be on the edge of the paper, always on the edge. Then make a little very light vertical line at the 1 inch. Slide it down 1 inch. Slide it down 1 inch. Slide it down 1 inch. Don't try to draw your border until you make these 1-inch marks on all the papers, on all the sides. Then turn it. Hold your ruler the same way. So it's the edge of the ruler, the 0 is on the edge of the paper. And make your 1-inch mark. Slide it down 1 inch. Slide it down 1 inch. 1 inch. Well, you can't see. 1 inch. 1 inch. Then turn it again. Hold your ruler on the edge. Don't let it move from the edge, otherwise it won't be 1 inch anymore. If you go over here and make 1 inch, look how far away that is. So make sure it's right on the edge. Make a vertical line, 1 inch. Hold it right on the edge, slide it down. 1 inch, slide it. 1 inch, slide it. 1 inch. So they should all be the same distance from the edge. Then turn it one more time. Hold it on the edge. 1 inch mark, slide it down. 1 inch mark. Slide it 1 inch. Slide it 1 inch. If you need some help, you could always ask your mom or dad. Okay, then you're going to line up your marks that you made, kind of like you do with connect the dots. And very lightly draw your line that goes all the way across, touching all of your lines, all of those vertical lines that you made. Very light line. And then on this side, same thing. Line up all the little lines you made right at the edge of the ruler. Hold your ruler with your fingers like this. If you have a longer ruler, then that's good too. This paper's 12 inches by 18 inches. That's going to allow you to make a really nice sized dragon. Okay, go all the way across. Oh, I forgot one more. Connect all my lines. Hold it right to the edge of the ruler. And connect. So your lines should be nice and straight. Oops, let me turn it the right way. I don't know if you can see my lines because I made them light. Okay, so now I'm going to start with my dragon, and I want him to have his head here and curve around and take up the whole page, and his wings are going to come up to the top. So I'm going to start with a circle shape for his head. And then from the left side of his head, I'm going to make a curvy line that comes all the way over to the edge of the paper and curves around. Then from the right side of his head, I'm going to make a curvy line, make a little bit of a dip for his belly, and then this one's going to follow the other line, go right over top of my border, and then I'm going to erase my border where the dragon's tail is overlapping it. So his tail looks like it's on top of the border. Okay, I'll make those a little bit darker. And sketchy, like light sketchy lines for your initial lines. It's okay if you can always erase what you don't want later if you do it lightly. Here's his belly, and it connects to his head. Then from his head, I'm going to come down and I'm going to add on slow line, kind of curve it to make his beak kind of mouth. And then curve this one up. If you want to give him teeth, you could add teeth up here. Or I'm going to just make it a beak and put his teeth on the bottom. So to make his jawline open, I'm going to make a big U shape. Come back. And then on the U shape, I'm going to add in his tongue. And I'm going to put some teeth back here. And maybe some big fangs right on this side of his mouth is going to have a big fang going that way. Then the littler teeth here. Then he has his jaw. So it comes down. He's going to have kind of a fluffy chin. And then I'm going to erase my circle lines, which helped me draw my head. I'm going to put his eye in there, kind of like an oval shape with a vertical kind of cat eye. And a gleam in his eye. And make his oval shape. Maybe come up this way a little. Down. And then make it look like he's a little scary. You can make you practiced your dragon eye, you could actually use the same one you made. Then I'm going to give him his details for his kind of carp-like hairy parts. One on this side, one on this side, they're wavy. Oops, make them wider at the bottom. And then get narrower. Erase that circle part. Okay, now I'm going to add on his, from like about the top of his head right here, I'm going to make a line that starts in the middle and then curves around right in between his wings to join the top of him. So here, I'm going to put his kind of scaly or fin-like parts of his body, kind of wavy. And then this one, they're going to start going the other way. And as they go back, they get smaller because they're getting further away other side. They're going to be smaller till they are gone. Then for his wing, I'm going to start in the kind of the middle of his body and curve it up. I'll go over my lines a little bit more later so you can see better. And then this wing's going to go way up and right off the page and come back on way over here. And this is going to be one of the longer parts, maybe a little bit shorter. And it's going to have two sides to it, kind of like a bat wing. I'll erase my line where the border is. Then it gets skinnier and skinnier until it touches. It's pointy. So can you see that? Then I'm going to make the second one. It starts at the same point, curves out, make it a little bit longer, gets skinnier and skinnier until it joins it. Then the third one, coming from the same point, it's a little bit shorter, starts wide and gets skinnier and skinnier until it joins it. And the fourth one, same thing, 1, 2. Now, to make it look like a bat wing, start at your points and go dip in, and then another dip in, and then dip to join the body, like that. His other wings on the other side of his body. So it's going to come up pretty far and then curve way out. Can you see it? Make it darker. And then it has, from about here, it starts wide, gets skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. Then this one too, starts wide, gets skinnier and skinnier till it joins it. This one comes way out, gets skinnier, skinnier till it joins it, and then one going this way. They're all starting around the same point. And then you go dip, dip in, and then connect to the body. Don't make it too skinny where it connects to the body. Okay, now for his legs. His front leg is going to kind of curve outwards so he has muscle right there. And his forearms coming this way. His 3 claws, 1, 2, 3. Can you see them? Hold it closer. And one on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Then his back leg. Kind You can just make an oval shape and then curve it down for the bottom of the oval. Comes back up. And then his back leg kind of curves down. And then he has 3 claws. 1, 2, kind of a dip there. 3, going all different directions. If you want, you could put like straight lines going out like chicken, and then double the lines. 1, 2, 3 claws. Okay, so now I will go over my lines a little bit more. So you can see them. And then put his belly darker. Jump over his leg. His tail. Right off the page. Oops. And I could put a stinger on the bottom of it too. Or whatever you want to put on the end of the tail. If I put a stinger, it would go like this, kind of. And this part comes down, and then when it curves, it comes across. So down here he has some more of those wavy like fin things. And they join the side here. Then for his texture, you could add all kinds of scales, whatever kind of texture that you want to add onto him. Gonna make the fins overlap. He could have diamonds, he could have kind of curves that come this way. And then when you're making them, start in the middle of the curve and go to the next one. The ones that are further away will be smaller. And you can keep adding more and more scales to give him lots of texture. And you can use any kind of texture that you like. I'll put some on this side too. Kind of bigger ones here. And then start in the middle of it and go down to the middle of the next one. Okay, and you can keep going all the way on his body or however far your textures are going to go. Don't stop because I'm stopping. I just don't want to keep making scales forever for you to watch. You keep doing it because the more texture your dragon has, the more reptilian he looks. The more detail you put on him, the better he's going to look. Or she. You can make any kind of dragon. You can make dragons like that look like dragons from the New Year celebrations, like any kind of New Year's. the Lunar New Year celebrations in China or Korea or wherever. Any kind of dragons. Or you could make mythical creatures. Okay, that's the first part. Practice making your dragons in your sketchbook, or at least one dragon in your sketchbook. When you have your idea, make your 1-inch border on the final paper. So first it's practice. Then on the final paper, it's the 1-inch border. I'm going to erase my 1-inch border where my dragon overlaps it. So it looks like the dragon is on top of the border. And then draw it on the big paper. Okay, this is the one we're going to paint. If you have watercolor paper, choose the 12 by 18 watercolor paper.